Bruce Springsteen had significant success in the 1970s, but it was in the 1980s when he really achieved the superstar status that he would continue to enjoy throughout the rest of his career up to the present day. We're going to talk about Born in the USA, a track from 1984, and a song that has become really kind of an emblematic Bruce Springsteen song. The track is in simple verse-chorus form, meaning that we have a verse and a chorus, but there's not a lot of difference musically between the two, different lyrics, different melody that goes with it, but nevertheless pretty much the same music all the way through. In fact, the thing with this tune is that it has that same melody really that never stops all the way through, that lick that starts from the very beginning and continues all the way through as a kind of a persistent kind of thing. Whenever you see something like that, hear something like that in music where there's a kind of a persistent thing, you wonder two things. You think, did the artist just not have an idea about offering something contrasting, and so they just kind of did the same thing over and over again? Or is there some significance to the repeated figure here? And when you check out the lyrics to the song, and it turns out to be about a guy who went to war for the United States and came back and was not very well cared for by the government and the VA hospitals and this kind of thing. And so you think, what does it mean to be born in the USA? It means to be kind of to serve your country and then to be kind of not very well cared for by your country. Now that's a social criticism you may agree with and you may disagree with, but it seems to be the one that Bruce Springsteen is making here. This persistent melody is almost like the persistent reminder of the problem or the inequality or the unfairness or the unjustified nature of what's going on. It's like a kind of an idée fixe, or an idea that just won't go away, that sort of continues to push all the way through. It can't be whitewashed or dismissed. It's there all the way through. Now that's a personal interpretation on my part, but it does give you some sense of this sort of urgent sort of propelling power of this lick. So as the song starts out, there's an 8-measure introduction, then we get a verse and a chorus, so each of those 8 measures in length, then a verse and a chorus, and then a verse, and then we get the music continuing without a vocal melody at about 1 minute and 36 seconds. That goes on for 8 measures, with just the music all by itself, really putting a focus on that lick, as I said before. And then we get a number of verses, verses 4, 5, and 6, and then we get a couple of choruses and a coda to take us out of the tune. As simple as the song is, it has become one of these tunes that's emblematic, really, of an entire era. Interestingly, the story is told, people like to tell the story, which is true, that the Reagan administration misunderstood the song and thought it was a song about being proud of the USA and proud to be born in the USA, and didn't realize that the song was actually a kind of a criticism against the country. And so they embraced Bruce Springsteen, who didn't want to be embraced by the Reagan administration. Again, I'm not taking a political position here, I'm just telling you how it unfolded. But it's one of those instances where a song can seem to be about one thing, but actually be about something else, especially if you don't pay a lot of attention to the lyrics. But it's become an important song in the history of rock music of the 1980s, Bruce Springsteen, and Born in the USA.